Yo, what is up guys? Welcome to another Wild Rift video, and in today's video I'll be playing Twisted Fate in the mid lane. Now, I want to tell you guys, I am a really good Twisted Fate player, so I can teach you a lot of advanced stuff about this champion. And let me tell you right now, Twisted Fate, definitely an S tier champion, at least. He is so incredibly powerful. And in the beginning part of the video, I'm going to explain to you guys, well, I talked very fast, but in the beginning part of the video, I'm going to explain to you guys how to build Twisted Fate. There's timestamps in the description to just skip to the gameplay. So again, like, I'm really good at Twisted Fate and I know exactly what I'm talking about in this video. So let's first talk about the build. I've tried multiple builds, right? And the first thing that I've tried is Luden's Echo, and let me tell you right now, not worth it. This is not worth it. It's just not really, because you don't rely on early game damage. You rely on late game damage, and Rod of Ages is going to allow you to get to that late game. First of all, Rod of Ages is going to make you tanky. It's going to give you a lot of HP. 250 plus 200 is 450 HP compared to nothing from the Luden's Echo. Secondly, it's going to give you 120 ability power in the late game. And third of all, it's going to give you a lot of max mana as well, so you don't have to bother about mana as well. It's just literally the perfect Twisted Fate item. After that, you get, first of all, you get Sheen, by the way. Make sure you get Sheen. Then you get Boots. So this is the exact order that you're going to be building your items. Rod of Ages, Sheen, Ionian Boots of Lucidity. Pretty much always Ionian Boots of Lucidity, unless it's like a special case. Like if the enemy has a lot of CC, then sure you can go for Mercury's Threads. If the enemy is full attack damage, sure you can go for Plated Steel Caps. But 90% of your games, you're going to be going for the Ionian Boots of Lucidity. So as I said, Rod of Ages, skip Boots, go for Sheen. Then you go for Ionian Boots of Lucidity, and then you finish off the Lich Bane. So, okay, you have two items and Ionian Boots of Lucidity. What next? Let me tell you what's next. So in 80% of your games, I would say, maybe 75, you go for the Rapid Fire Cannon third. So the thing that this item does, first of all, it gives you less damage. With the Rapid Fire Cannon, you're going to have much less damage. But, of course, you get the range, right? That's what it's all about. It's about the bonus range, and you can stun enemies from the bonus range. That's the whole power of Rapid Fire Cannon. So how do you decide whether or not you go for the Rapid Fire Cannon? Because in today's video, I actually skipped the Rapid Fire Cannon entirely. So you go for Rapid Fire Cannon if you want to hit enemies from a far range, right? Like, if you feel like enemies don't have easy ways of diving you, and you like, if you like, for example, Ziggs, Jinx, Orianna, you know, those types of champions that attack you from a long range, that's when you want to build a Rapid Fire Cannon. And pretty much every single game, like 3 out of 4 games, you're going to be up against some sort of champions like that. But if you're just against champions that don't have long range and are diving champions, like Renekton, who likes to dive, like Evelynn, who likes to dive, like Jhin, who doesn't have a lot of range, like you know, Alistar, who likes to dive, like, you know what I mean, right? Like these types of examples, if you're against those types of champions, you're actually much better off skipping the Rapid Fire Cannon and just going for the Rabadon's Death Cap. And then you go for the Void Staff, and then in the late game, you have to decide, do I want the range or not? Very likely you do. Like, very likely you want to get the Rapid Fire Cannon at least as your last item. But if the enemy really doesn't have a lot of range and you just want to blow the enemies up, boom, Nashor's Tooth. You do not build something like the Green Book or like Luden's Echo. No, you always build attack speed. So either a Nashor's Tooth or the Rapid Fire Cannon. Now, Nashor's Tooth, I mean, you almost never build it, only in some scenarios, but this item is going to make you one-shot enemies. But yeah, the normal game, as I said, 75% of the games, it's gonna go like this. You get a Rapid Fire Cannon as your third item, then you go for the Rabadon's Death Cap, and then as your last item you get the Void Staff. This is 75% of your games. For your enchantment, you go for, where is it? Protobelt. 90% of the games you go for Protobelt, and if you're against a Fizz or something like that, you go for Stasis, because of course you have to block Fizz's ultimate. Especially if you don't get the Rapid Fire Cannon, you always go for Protobelt. If you don't get the Rapid Fire Cannon, always. There is no exception, because of course you have to use it to get into range. Okay, for your runes. So as your first rune, there's a few runes that you can go for. Fleet Footwork is the best one to get through the early game, because with this one, basically you can take trades with the enemy and you're going to be healing up with the Fleet Footwork. So that's what makes it super good. Also, Twisted Fate has a lot of internal attack speed. So what I mean with that, he already has a lot of attack speed. So you can hit a lot of enemies and minions to stack up the Fleet Footwork very rapidly and get it up. You know, you're constantly going to be using it. You can go for Conqueror. This is good if the enemy is very tanky and you want to have longer fights. I don't recommend it, however. You can also go for Phase Rush. Yet again, I don't recommend it, but it works. Like, it gives you the movement speed. And you can go for Electrocute. I mean, of course, Electrocute used to be the rune that everyone ran on Twisted Fate, but honestly, like, after I played a lot of Twisted Fate, Fleet Footwork is just infinitely stronger. It's so much better. Like, in the long run, it's going to give you more damage. That's the funny part, because in the early game, you're going to be healing up, which allows you to continuously hit the enemy. And, you know, if you compare it to the small bonus damage that you get from Electrocute, it's just not worth it. So you go for the Fleet Footwork. Second rune, you go for Gathering Storm. And I know it sounds stupid, but Brutal is not worth it. It's a bad rune. Hunter Vampirism, of course, not worth it on Twisted Fate. Weakness is not worth it either. Like, it's just not worth it. It doesn't provide you that much damage. Champion Rune, of course, not worth it as well. You don't want to go for Champion on Twisted Fate. So Gathering Storm is going to be stacking up in the late game. And when you reach the 12 minutes, 15 minutes, and get that Rabadon's death cap, you basically won the game, basically. But again, you can go for weakness if you want to support your team a bit more. I don't really recommend it. You can also get a triumph. Again, like, I just don't recommend it, but you can. If you just want to hear what I recommend the Gathering Storm, because with the Rabadon's Death Cap, it's perfect. Third rune is completely situational. Adaptive Carapace is generally what you're going to be running. Hunter Titan, of course, if you're against a lot of CC. And then Bone Plating if you're against Yasuo, Zed, maybe even Fizz. You know, those types of champions that have a lot of burst damage. Last rune, you go for Sweet Tooth, because Sweet Tooth is broken. So for your spells, you do not go for Barrier, you actually go for Ignite. The reason is because you already have a Fleet Footwork for the safety in your lane, and what Ignite is going to allow you to do is be more aggressive. And it kind of compensates for the Gathering Storm as well. So enough about the build, let's now get into the gameplay. Alright, on to the gameplay, and first things first, I instantly want to tell you what I just did. Don't buy magic damage as a Twisted Fate in the early game. Give me a second. Instead, get the HP item. My chair is broken. Give me there it is. So buy that item that gives you HP. I'm not quite sure what it's called, but the item that gives you bonus health. It gives you 150 bonus health, which is going to be much better than the magic damage item. And trust me on this, it's just worth it. It's not worth to go for magic damage because Twisted Fate doesn't scale that well with magic damage in the early game yet. So in the early game, just go for the health item. So look at what I'm doing here. Boom, 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 boom. You see that? So as a Twisted Fate, you don't take any ability upgrade before you reach your rank. And before explaining that to you, I just quickly want to let you guys know, giving away 10 legendary skins. All you have to do is put a comment under this video. So the reason that you don't take an ability before you actually fight or do something, because so your second ability has potential to get a free kill for your team, right? Like if you catch an enemy, your teammates are near you, you get a free kill. But your third ability gives you more sustained damage. So when an Irelia dives you, like she did earlier on in this game, you use your third ability. Oh, she screwed up. She screwed up. I ignite her. Boom, boom, boom. Easy kill. She screwed up, she went way too far, and I just killed her. That's why you go for Ignite, by the way. But yeah, what I was telling you... sorry, I just got a very important message and I'm trying to ignore it for the video. Oh my god, I just got a message pop up on my screen that's so important, but I completely forgot what I was talking about. I just got a white line in my face because I read that message. I'm lost. What was I talking about? I don't know, but yes, you, wow. Sorry guys, I'm so sorry. Do you have it sometimes or where something just completely takes your focus away? But okay, let's focus on the game now. So Twisted Fate early game is not super weak. It's just you don't really do a lot of damage. You're more there to just either finish off enemies like I did right here, or to just kind of provide utility for your team by stunning the enemy. Like as you can see the Irelia right here, I'm not dealing damage, but what I am doing is using my gold card to stun her, and we get the kill. So in the early game, your mindset with Twisted Fate has to be, I need to get my Rod of Ages as fast as possible and just play it safe. So as you can see, 2 minutes and 15 seconds into this game, I have Rod of Ages. This is like the most insanely early Rod of Ages that you're ever gonna see. And I'm just gonna push out this wave real quick and instantly go back and get my Rod of Ages. Because the earlier you get your Rod of Ages, the earlier you're gonna get that mid-game power spike of Twisted Fate. And the mid-game power spike of Twisted Fate is basically a stacked Rod of Ages. You know, Rod of Ages with a few stacks to give you a lot of ability power. What is that item called? Sheen. and Ionian Boots of Lucidity. This is like the first minor power spike of Twisted Fate, right? Rod of Ages with a few stacks and then having those items. At that point, you're actually going to be dealing decent amount of damage. Here I'm waiting for her to go in because I know she will, and as you can see, that's the combo. You can clearly see I'm really not dealing a lot of damage, right? Like I'm really not dealing a lot of damage, but I'm still able to easily fight her because of my fleet footwork. You see? You see how I'm constantly getting healed up by the fleet footwork? That is the big power of fleet footwork, and that's why it's basically the best rune to run on Twisted Fate. It's such an amazingly powerful rune. Like you're gonna be healthy throughout the entire time. Here, this is yet again a kill. That was a beautiful catch by my Twisted Fate, by the way. Boom, 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 boom. And I know Twisted Fate is not the easiest champion, and that's especially because you have to be able to manage your cards very effectively. Talking about the second ability. And honestly, like I remember when I started playing Twisted Fate, I had a really hard time being able to pick out the right card as fast as possible, right? Because you don't want to waste your time picking out the right card. You want to instantly pick the right card. But this gets better over time. I'm not even going to give you any advice on it because this gets better over time. Right now I have the power spike that I was talking about, which is a stacked Rod of Ages, Sheen, and Ionian Boots of Lucidity. Normally you're gonna get this. Power spike like 6 minutes into the game, but in this game I got it 4 minutes into the game because I'm so incredibly ahead. Cannot kill him, unfortunately. Yeah, I cannot kill him. Here, Olaf is unstoppable. I should have waited, perhaps I should have waited for his unstoppable to run out. Like, Olaf hard counters Twisted Fate, by the way, because he becomes unstoppable and stops your CC. So when you're against an Olaf and he uses his ultimate, you kinda wanna wait. Damn, she destroyed us. But you kinda wanna wait for his ultimate to run out and then stun him. Wow, this is disastrous for us. All of us just died. Damn, we gave them so many shutdowns. And that is also why I was showing you guys this video, because you'll see this is gonna get very chaotic in the late game. This is gonna get very chaotic. So Twisted Fate, he's really all about that stun, right? Like that's the whole thing that you have to play around. It's the cards of him, and especially the gold card, of course. And this is really all that Twisted Fate is about. He doesn't really do anything else. He can just stun the enemy with the gold card and then deal some burst damage, just like this. You see, like this is really all he does. I mean, sure, his third ability is good to deal some sustained damage. Of course, you have to utilize it, but it's not his main damage. His main damage comes from his second ability and his first ability, right? Like that's what he's all about. And in the early mid game, it doesn't really do a lot of damage, and it's on a pretty low cooldown, a pretty long cooldown as well. Like as you can see, my cards on it are on like a 5-second cooldown. In the late game, this changes to 2 to 3 seconds, just so you know. Basically, you can spam your cards. You can spam the hell out of them, constantly stun the enemy. We can see our Draven is losing against an Ezreal, so that is a really bad sign for us, because Draven cannot lose against an Ezreal. It's the hard counter, and Draven doesn't scale into the late game. Another thing to know about Twisted Fate, by the way, use your blue card to maintain energy in your lane. Like, as you can see, I'm constantly using my blue card on minions, turrets, things like that, to maintain my energy. Even when you're taking the honey fruit, for example, use your blue card. Here, you know, I'm moving to help my team, boom, boom. If I didn't do this, Camille would have died. So, Twisted Fate is probably the best ganker in the game. And of course you have to utilize that. His ultimate goes on a very long cooldown. As you can see, my ultimate is on level 2. And I have some ability haste, and it still goes on like a 95-second cooldown. So whenever you can, use that ultimate to get kills. The reason that it's on such a long cooldown is because it's such a powerful ability. And of course you have to utilize it. Utilize it to gank other lanes. Utilize it to help your teammates. Ooh, Irelia is getting fed. And you have to do that, right? You have to constantly go around the map and use it. And about the cards, so the blue card, use it to restore mana. The green, not the green card, the yellow card is obviously there to stun the enemies, right? It's the stun card. But then the red card is probably the... I misclicked my flash. It happens to all of us. I just misclicked my flash. But the red card, use it to clear out waves, or if the enemies are clumped up together, because then it deals so much damage and it slows all of them. So yeah, the red card, I know you won't use it too often. Oh, she's dead. But the scenarios that it's good is if you want to push out the wave, right? Like if you want to push out the wave, here I'm gonna stun her again, boom. Look at how strong this stun is. And then the red card is also good in team fights. So here, look at how many stuns I have. I just quickly hit the red card on her because I just wanted to kill her. It was enough to slow her anyways. And yeah, man, Twisted Fate is so powerful. He's a bit hard to play, but if mastered, oh my god, he's really strong. I cannot really fight him, so I have to run. Yeah. And now I'm just gonna take the heal and take the scuttle. So let's take a look at this game, okay? How do you build this game? If you ask yourself, they have a Darius, low range engage. They have an Olaf, low range engage. They have an Ezreal, low range damage champion. They have a Janna, quite low range as well. And they have an Irelia, low range engaging champion. Is this a game where you build rapid fire cannon? Of course not. Look, I'm waiting, and now I stun him. Do not panic against an Olaf, guys. Stun him only... Boom. Stun him only when his ultimate runs out. I mean, of course, it depends on the scenario, because you can also just throw a card on him to deal damage. But in this scenario, if I had thrown my card on him instantly, I would have died. But I waited, I was patient, and then I stunned him when his ultimate ran out, and I was able to survive. You see, like in some scenarios, being patient with your second ability is better than not. Here, as you can see, I'm just skipping out the rapid fire cannon because I don't need it. In this game, I just don't need it. I'm much better off just going for full AP to deal as much damage as I can in this game, because rapid fire cannon is really not going to help me because they have 3 engaging champions. Ezreal doesn't have a lot of range, and Janna doesn't have a lot of range either. So let's take a look at this. I'm maintaining my distance. Boom, boom. Getting the gold card out again and just stunning. That's all you do. You maintain a distance and you stun the enemies. That's really how Twisted Fate works. It sounds easy, but it's hard because your positioning has to be perfect when you play Twisted Fate. Here, yet again, just poking the enemy. And the thing that makes this even more powerful, especially in the late game as well, is because you have fleet footwork. Because you can poke the enemy. First of all, you're gonna heal back up. Secondly, you'll get bonus movement speed, which allows you to disengage more effectively, right? Like, that's what makes fleet footwork such a perfect rune for you. Here we have to be a little careful of Darius, because he has full stacks nearly. But beautiful stasis enchant from our Camille. So, I used my ultimate here to potentially go in, but I cannot really go in. Yeah, I cannot really go in. So, I'm gonna repeat to you guys, what did I say? Wow, that damage, by the way. Yeah, so Fleet Footwork is the best rune because early game healing, and then late game you can poke the enemy. Ooh, close. You can poke the enemy to get movement speed to escape, and you're gonna heal up if they poke you back, right? Like, it's just the perfect rune to use. Nice. I'm already dealing this much damage without a Rabadon's Death Cap, by the way. Can you imagine how strong I will be without Rabadon's Death Cap? And can you imagine what kind of, like, what a huge mistake it would be if I had built a rapid fire cannon in this game? Because rapid fire cannon delays your damage by a lot, just so you have the bonus range. But can you imagine, like here, yet again, I'm skipping out the rapid fire cannon, just going for a void staff straight away. And I want you guys to see how much damage I'm gonna deal in this game, because I'm not getting punished for skipping out the rapid fire cannon. And this is basically the perfect draft for Twisted Fate. If you don't need a rapid fire cannon, it's quite literally the perfect draft for Twisted Fate. Yeah, and while farming, use your blue card, of course, all the time, because it deals more damage and restores your mana. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at what the hell's about to happen now, because I have so much damage. It's actually incredible. Wait for it. No, cannot hit a card. Oh yeah, and the way that you want to upgrade your abilities, first you upgrade first ability, then your second ability, and then your third ability. Boom, boom. Look at that damage. I got 60% of his HP with 2 abilities. Look, she's dead. Boom, boom. Oi, 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 look at that damage, guys. This is what happens when you skip the rapid fire cannon, because you don't need it. No, sorry, you do need it, but in some scenarios, 20% of the games, you don't need it. But I want to show you guys that you don't always need it, because I feel like there is this taboo around Twisted Fate where players feel like they have to get a rapid fire cannon for it to work. But no, you don't. Look at this. In certain games, you don't need a rapid fire cannon if you don't need the bonus range. And for the compensation that you get for it is the insane damage. Here, yet again, I don't need it. I don't need it. Look, they cannot reach me anyways. I can even flash on him to kill him. Look, I don't need it. You have flash, you have protobelt anyways. And here, oh, ooh, I have to kill him here, yeah. If I didn't kill him here, he would have ulted me. So you see how much damage you deal with this build. You see how incredible it is. No, not a rapid fire cannon, please. No, don't get it. Nice. Void Staff, Proto Belt, last item, Nasher's Tooth. I'm just gonna be so powerful. Oh my god. It's actually insane how much damage I'm gonna deal right now. However, this is still not a free game because we have a useless ADC. Our Draven is not doing anything. And the enemies will outscale us. Regardless of my damage, the enemies are still gonna outscale us actually. Here I need to run away. Okay, so the reason that I hit him with the blue card is blue card deals more damage than the yellow card. The blue card actually deals the most damage, and the reason that I used it, of course, there is because he was unstoppable, so it didn't make sense for me to go for the stun, right? Oh my god, just take a look at that damage, guys. You're never gonna deal that damage with Rapid Fire Cannon. You don't need to, that's the thing, you don't need to. The range is generally gonna be much more important, but if you don't need the range, guys, it's incredible what Twisted Fate can do. Here, the cooldown of my second ability is super low, and stun. Easy peasy kill. We've approached the late game, so now the cooldown of my second ability is only 3 seconds, as you can see. Look, it's actually 4 seconds. Sorry, not 3 seconds. 4 seconds, which is also quite low. And it's gonna be 3 seconds when I finish the Nasher's Tooth, by the way. That damage. Oh. Yeah, I need to go back. I can get my Nasher's Tooth. I have a full build right now. The problem is though, even though I'm so damn powerful, we still don't have a dragon laner, which puts us in a 4 versus 5. The reason that I'm saying that is because Draven is useless in the late game, and our Draven doesn't have anything. He really doesn't have anything, so that's the problem right now. Like, as you can see, he has 10k gold. I have 17,000 gold. I really hope he gives me the red buff, by the way. Oh yeah, and guys, if you want, you can give the video a like. It really helps the channel, so if you've forgotten, if you want to support the channel, give it a like. Just click on it if you want. If you don't want to, it doesn't matter. Just watch the video and enjoy it. Double buff Twisted Fate with 5 items, by the way. That, you know, the game is gonna be fun when that happens, right? This is basically the strongest that you'll ever get. I got my Gathering Storm extra as well at level 15. I am just unbeatable right now. I should pretty much one-shot their squishies. As you can see, you know, I'm just playing it a bit passively here. Boom, boom. Look at that damage. Oh, I overextended. Yep, I overextended. They killed all of us. As you can see, even though I was full build, it's hard because we're 4 versus 5. That's the problem. And this is what happens if you don't go for a rapid fire cannon, right? Like, you have to get close, you have to get a little closer to the enemies, which puts you at a higher risk. And I died for it, right? I died for it, gave them a huge bounty. So I'm basically trading off the range, the safety, for damage. I want to have a lot of damage. So as you can see, I did deal a lot of damage, but I died because I was way too deep. I don't know what this Draven is doing. Like, what the hell, man? They got Baron, they're getting turrets. This is looking quite bad for us, but still, I know that I can carry this game. I am full build Twisted Fate. Twisted Fate is a giga late game champion, so when you get to a lot of items on Twisted Fate, you should be fine. Like, if you play it correctly, you're gonna provide so much value to your team in team fights that, like, all they really have to do is just click on some buttons and attack the enemy, and you'll just do the rest. It's really all about getting through that initial early game stage of Twisted Fate. You know, getting through that weakness part, the weak part of Rod of Ages. But once you stack up that Rod of Ages, once you build up some items, that's when Twisted Fate becomes like absolutely unbeatable. Your positioning is still gonna have to be really good though. That's like the thing with Twisted Fate. You have to have really good positioning. And we both used our protobell. That's funny. Yeah, and now as you can see, I'm playing it a bit more passively. I'm just playing it a bit more passively, and yeah, my positioning is much better now, and we're killing all of them, as you can see. Even though they have a Baron, we're killing all of them. I'm gonna teleport in there because I could have. Yeah, there we go. Boom, boom. And I nearly one-shot the Janna, nearly. Here, stunning the Irelia so she cannot go anywhere. You see, do you guys see how good Twisted Fate is in this situation? Look. And then, oh, she flashed away. But constant stuns, you have constant CC during a team fight. Enemies can just not do anything about it. All you have to do is maintain a distance, play it a bit passively, and you're just gonna constantly stun the enemies over and over and over again. Oh, have to be a bit careful here. Again, Olaf can kill you. It's a bit of a dangerous champion because he denies your stuns. Yeah, I'm gonna get my mana up because I got the blue buff, so I don't have to backport right here because I'm gonna get my mana up anyways. Yep, as you can see, it's going up anyways. And yeah, I'm constantly using blue card, of course, to get it up even faster. If we catch an enemy, he's just dead. Like here, he should be dead. Boom, he's dead. You see, like, that's another thing with Twisted Fate. You catch an enemy in the late game, especially if you have a rapid fire cannon, that makes it infinitely more powerful to catch out an enemy. Because as you saw, I had to use my proto belt there. If I had a rapid fire cannon, I wouldn't have to. I just hit a minion. That's really stupid of me. Yellow card, boom, boom. Poking them and go back. Maintain a distance, you see, like, it seems like I'm not doing anything from my team, but I'm just maintaining a distance so I do not die, so I'm able to continuously provide a lot of value for them. Continuously stun the enemies and do massive damage. That's what I'm doing. Look, maintaining a distance, you see? This is the correct way of playing Twisted Fate. Don't go too deep. You know, yeah, just don't go too deep. You have to maintain a distance and constantly stun the enemies. This distance can be much bigger when you play, oh god, look at that. Just take a look at that. This distance can be much bigger when you have a rapid fire cannon, of course. But again, in this game, I traded that off for the bonus damage. A gold card deals 1000 damage, by the way, guys, just so you know. On the Olaf. Pfft. Look at this, look at this. I'm just going crazy here now. Look at this, look at this. Boom, boom. Look at that, guys. Like, how crazy is this? And I stun him as well, and he's dead too. This is the toxic Twisted Fate that you can play. This is the absolute giga toxic Twisted Fate that you can play. Irelia tries to go in. She gets stunned. Oh, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let's take a look at how much damage I did and everything like that. Let's take a look. Come on, go through it. Oh, I was diamond here. I'm actually master now. 65,000 damage, by the way. 65,000 damage. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. And yeah, I will see you all in the next Wild Rift video. Bye-bye.